قضية مكافحة الإرهاب.
And that almost goes hand in hand with what we talked about with money laundering, but both of our countries have been victims of terrorism, terrorist attacks. So it's absolutely crucial that we maintain that partnership to ensure that that does not happen on the soil of either of our countries.
أعزائي المشاهدين، مرحبا بكم في برنامج ديوان الملا. اليوم حديثنا عن العلاقات الأمريكية الكويتية. لمناقشة هذا المواضيع وكثير من المواضيع الأخرى معنا اليوم سفيرة الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية في الكويت سعادة كارين هيديكو ساساهارا. مرحبا سعادة السفيرة.
مرحبا، شكرا.
أتشرف بوجودك معنا اليوم في شبكة ديوان الملا. سعادة السفيرة، بدأ التعاون بين الولايات المتحدة والكويت في قضية غسيل الأموال.
Thank you for the question. We have very extensive cooperation on that. It's extremely important, I think, to both of our countries that our banking systems are not used for nefarious purposes against our own citizens, against neighboring countries, and any types of actions like that. We have experts that meet on a regular basis to exchange information, to engage in capacity building, training. In fact, in August 26th, Kuwait hosted the USGCC Regional Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing Conference. I was there with opening remarks, and it was an extremely good opportunity for Kuwait and its neighborly countries to meet, exchange information, and talk to the experts and the policy people from our Treasury Department in Washington. That continues to go on with regular engagements with the Treasury attaché in the region, and I myself engage personally, whether it's in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, whether it's in the Ministry of Finance, or all the relevant ministries in Kuwait. We have very, very good cooperation, and that will continue.
That's good. السؤال الثاني، تعاون الكويت والولايات المتحدة في قضية مهمة، قضية مكافحة الإرهاب.
Absolutely, and that almost goes hand in hand with what we talked about with money laundering, but both of our countries have been victims of terrorism, terrorist attacks. So it's absolutely crucial that we maintain that partnership to ensure that that does not happen on the soil of either of our countries. And that's where our relationship, our security relationship and military relationship goes back many, many decades, so that we are in constant touch with your leadership, with the relevant ministries and with the military to ensure that we have the right information, that we stay prepared, and that we have that capacity and partnership to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
That's good. كلنا ككويتيين نسأل، يعني هل ما زالت الولايات المتحدة ملتزمة بالدفاع وحماية الكويت؟
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think our track record is pretty good going back a few decades, but we always have to be looking at the present. We always have to be planning for the future. So we have constant information exchanges with among the civilian and the uniformed branches and leadership of both of our countries. And that continues, as we have seen, with extremely successful visit of His Highness the Crown Prince to New York for the General Assembly, and as we just saw yesterday with His Excellency the Foreign Minister Yahya, when he met with Secretary Blinken, in which they discussed de-ISIS and other issues that are of relevance to the region.
يمكن الكويت اليوم مهتمة في موضوع التنمية والاستثمارات حاليا. في تعاون أو استثمار بين الكويت والولايات المتحدة في مشاريع كبرى داخل الكويت.
The trade is really, really good. It's in the billions, and it covers a very broad array, whether it's healthcare, whether it's telecommunications. And if anybody went to the auto show this weekend, you'll see that some of the big brands that we all unveiled were very popular American brands. Education, energy, science and technology. These are just some of the fields in which we have been cooperating and exchanging, whether it's visits of Kuwaitis to the United States, conferences, things like that. We are continuing to look for those opportunities, and the embassy does work very hard on that. Just this past few months ago, we had a very large delegation of Kuwaiti businessmen who went to the annual event outside of Washington called Select USA, which was an opportunity for them to find out if they wanted to invest in the United States. And I think we had 1 or 2 actual successes. Before that, we led a delegation of Kuwaitis to Houston for the Offshore Technology show, which is a very, very big show. It's a premier show when we're talking about oil services. So we have continuous cooperation in a broad array of fields.
توجد مشاريع حالية يتم تنفيذها في المجال الاقتصادي حالياً.
We actually are very interested in infrastructure. We're interested in power, and we know that that is a priority for His Highness the Emir and for the cabinet. So we have had those discussions with the relevant ministries. We have companies that are very well experienced in building highways and infrastructure in desert conditions. Anyone that's been to the Southwest will know that it's virtually identical. So we are looking for those. We're very interested. We have companies that are very, very interested. So we want to be a part of that. And we have already been talking to the relevant ministries and to the companies regarding power generation.
التعاون العسكري ما بين الولايات المتحدة والكويت، هل هناك في تقدم في صفقات جديدة في تعاون عسكري حول هذا الموضوع؟
It's very deep and it's ongoing and it's very forward-looking. As you know, Kuwait was named a major non-NATO ally in 2004, a fact that was commemorated by His Highness the Crown Prince when he hosted a reception on September 25th in commemoration of that. And I'm not sure a lot of people realize also that the NATO ICI Center is here in Kuwait. And the foreign minister was in Washington in July for the 75th anniversary of NATO. And the NATO Center, the Istanbul Cooperative Initiative, was discussed there. And Kuwait is very much at the center of that. So we're very forward-leaning about that. We are looking at what security conditions are in the region, and we are constantly in touch with the civilian and military leadership of Kuwait to look at what the security picture looks like, what our security architecture is here in Kuwait that we work on with the government of Kuwait.
المرأة الكويتية، شلون تشوفين وجودها داخل الكويت وحصولها على المناصب، وانت يعني لك لقاءات كثيرة مع الكويتيات، كيف انت حقوق المرأة في الكويت؟
So I'll have to say that the best person or people to make that assessment would be Kuwaiti women themselves. But let me make an observation here, is that I'll be honest with you, women in Kuwait, women in the United States, and frankly, women everywhere are looking to keep expanding, to keep moving forward, and for the right to be able to participate in public life, and in some countries to be able to vote, to be able to take part in politics, in government, and to occupy that public space safely and appropriately. But getting back to Kuwait, there's 3 ministers in the cabinet.
Yes.
Extremely qualified. There is a level of dynamism, women entrepreneurs that has been long in Kuwait. Very, very active, and in very, very prominent roles. You just have to look at the Kuwaiti newspapers and the media to see very high-powered women in iconic Kuwaiti companies and agencies.
السؤال الأخير، هل ما زالت الولايات المتحدة تدعم المسيرة الديمقراطية ومناخ الحريات في الكويت؟
We absolutely do, and that's, democracy is basically America's brand. It is something that we feel strongly about, something that we enjoy very much. It's also something that's under great debate. But we're looking at the Kuwaiti model of what democracy is. And once again, this is another unique aspect of Kuwait. You started out with a Mujlis, then you went to the National Assembly, which continued. It has been a part of Kuwaiti political life. It has been suspended but brought back 3 different times. And concurrently, though, you have the Diwan. The Diwan is, again, it's unique to Kuwait. It is a nightly reaffirmation of Kuwait's political, social system. Everything is discussed there openly. Decisions are made, opinions are exchanged. It is an enduring part of Kuwait's democracy. The newspapers are open. People are free to say what they want, and they do. So there are so many different aspects of democracy and openness that are unique to Kuwait. And I think that's going to continue because it is what the people want.
سعادة السفيرة، أشكرك على هذا اللقاء اللي كان ممتع، وأشكرك على صراحتك.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure, and thank you for having me on your show.
أعزائي المشاهدين، وصلنا نهاية برنامج ديوان الملا. مع السلامة.